Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is Elaine and today I'll be talking about my Hermes bag collection. A little history, I guess, backstory. My very first Hermes bag was a Kelly 32 that I got, I don't know, way back when, even before I was really into Hermes bags, sort of in that Olsen twins beat up Kelly era. I did have a somewhat beat up Kelly 32 in box leather. And I didn't really use it. I hardly ever used it. I ended up selling it. I think I bought it for about $2,000 and I sold it for like $2,400, which at that time I thought was, great. I made some money off of it. If I had only known to keep it, to take it to the spa and keep it for a little bit longer, it would have been a real investment piece there, but that's all right. And then for the next 10 years or so, I didn't have any Hermes bags. And then I did get an Evelyn 29 from the boutique in Hawaii, and actually, the process of that whole thing really put me off of buying from Hermes, from the boutique. So I also then kind of paused again for another couple of years. And then, and I'll show you in a little bit, I did get a Vespa bag that kicked the whole thing off. I loved it. I rehabbed it myself. I loved it. And then since then, I've been on this Hermes journey. But I would say my journey is more about just trying all the different kinds of bags from Hermes and not so much about trying to get a Birkin or a Kelly. Obviously, I have these two out here, so I did eventually get one Birkin and one Kelly. And I should mention, by the time this probably posts, I would have sold a couple of these bags because, and I'll talk about this maybe in a little bit, I'm kind of over it. I mean, I'm kind of over the hype of the Birkin and the Kelly. I feel like I'm putting myself in danger every time I use something that's super recognizable from Hermes. So I definitely gravitate towards the less recognizable pieces. I understand, like, a lot of people don't like Hermes. They have very snooty, elitist behavior. I totally get it. I get that short end of the stick all the time. Most of the time, I don't get anything from the boutique. And so most of these, I would say, are from the secondhand market. Most notably from Japan, from Brandier. All right, so without further ado, I guess I'll get started. And so please stay tuned. I am going to go from least used to most used. Actually, I might as well leave these up here because these are my least used bags. So let's just start with the Birkins, actually. So as you can see, I have two Birkins. I have a 35 and a 30. This one is from 1998. This is from 2000. And then as you can see, this is black with palladium hardware. This is in the Swift leather. And I might have already talked about this in another post, but I will be selling this bag to the Real. I sent this to the Hermes spa in San Francisco, mostly for the handles here that were down to the leather. You can see the brown bits need to be recoated. And also, as you can see here, there is some weird squarish, rectangular-ish indentation that it was a lot worse when it came, but it's still there. But overall, I am selling this bag to the Real because it is just too heavy. I am not a Birkin gal at all. I am a more practical shoulder carry, crossbody carry type of person. It's just not suited for me. I mean, to be honest, if this wasn't such a holy grail or the pinnacle of bag collecting, I probably wouldn't even give this a second glance because it's not my style. Glad to have at least tried it, I guess, because it's not like you can go to an Hermes boutique and just try it on for size. So by the time this airs, this will be gone from my collection. I did tell myself I want to get rid of at least 4 or half of the bottom 8 of my least used bags, and all of them pretty much are from Hermes. And this Birkin I will be keeping for the time being. But again, I'm not a Birkin person, so I never carry this bag. I maybe used it twice. I do like this one because the 30 size is a lot lighter. This is also in Epsom, and Epsom tends to be one of the lighter leathers. This one's from 1998, and as you can see, this one also is a little bit worn. But on the bright side, when Epsom gets old and worn like this, it does actually get kind of soft. So it's not this like stiff, boxy type of bag. I got this one off the Real, but I still don't really use it. It may go back to the Real, but I do like this blue indigo color. So we'll see. Next on my least use is this Kelly. This is in the 28 size from the year 2001. So after the year 2000 or 2001, they started making the exterior an extra D-ring for the shoulder strap. So instead of sharing it with the handle D-ring, you can have a separate clip, which I think is good because I do also have a 1979 Kelly 28 in chocolate box leather. It's currently at the spa and it has been for the last 10 months. They had to ship it off to France because I asked for a replacement of this D-ring area. Basically what happens is with a lot of these older vintage Kellys that are pre-2000, when you end up clipping your shoulder strap to the same ring as the top handle, this top handle has to often gets pushed forward. And then, so that Kelly, the handle was just wobbling, wiggly waggly. I don't know what the term is, but yeah, it was not good. And so I wanted to get that fixed first and foremost. And then I opted to upgrade the hardware so that I would have the double rings, just so that if I do end up using that one a lot again, I didn't want the top handle to start wiggling again. I know some people say that's blasphemy. You know, here I am taking a 1976 Kelly and then I'm kind of Frankensteining the hardware, but in a practical sense, it made sense to me. Anyways, I digress. This is from 2001. This is, I don't know the name. It was sold to me as navy. I got this in Japan. I do have my little Pegasus on here. I got this one from the boutique, as well as a little Pelican cadena. I did not actually rehab this box, so this is how it came. It does have some scratches, but it's still beautiful. I guess if you compare it to the Birkin 30, you know, they're of the sort of the same similar mid-size size. And as I mentioned, I do also have a Kelly 28 in the chocolate box leather that's currently in the spa. All right, so these are some of my least used bags. And continuing on the vintage box train here, this is also a least used bag. This is the Constance 23 in chocolate box leather. I also did get this one spa'd by Hermes, but this one stayed in San Francisco. They have a local repair shop. This stayed in-house, so I got this back in about 2 or 3 weeks. But yes, I did do a comparison review of this with the Rouge, so if you haven't seen that yet, you can take a look. I will also be selling this bag because I never use it. I am just not a fan. Long story short, I'm not a fan of this H clip and the size, and if I had to choose between this and the Rouge 23, I would go for the Rouge every time. I will say thank you for your service, thank you for the experience, and I wish you well in your next home. And another vintage chocolate box leather is this Falco Elan clutch. I also did get this spa'd at the Hermes spa in SF. Thing about boxes that it will start cracking. So this one already has a little bit of cracking, and if you don't take it to the spa, it will just get worse. It'll get to the point where it flakes off. I mean, even once it gets to this point of flaking, it's beyond repair. There's no way they can fix that. They can only prevent it from getting worse. I don't know if I've used this at all. This is part of my Never Worns collection, but I am keeping it because it is from my birth year. So I don't have a birth year Birkin, but I have a birth year Falco Elan clutch, which is a mouthful. I don't know if I'm ever going to get something from my birth year, so I'm holding on to this one for now. I do love box. You know, a lot of people don't like box because it can scratch easily, but it can be buffed out. It just requires a little more maintenance, but it is just such a beautiful classic leather from Hermes. Speaking of a box leather clutch, here is the Rouge, and this is in the GM size. So this is the classic Rouge. You see a lot of them in the 29s, sort of Elan style, which is like a smaller clutch. I don't know if this is practical or not. I mean, it isn't, but I first saw myself using this as sort of a laptop bag, so it would fit a laptop. This one is quite old. It is a beautiful navy box leather. We'll see. Who knows if you'll see this in next year's Hermes collection video. And another bag you might not have seen me wear is this Berlingo in the PM size in chocolate canvas. I did also have a Berlingo GM size in Rouge H with buffalo leather. So that one was a little heavy and was a little bulky. So I thought, you know, maybe I'll like the PM size. So I got this one from the Real. Inside the Berlingo, so the outside's canvas, but the inside is leather, which is really interesting. I mean, It's not just some throwaway leather. It's some pretty high quality. It might actually be buffalo on the inside. It's a really nice, durable, textured leather. It kind of reminds me of also like maybe Naganda, the one that they use for garden parties. Right now I have it at the shoulder carry length, or you could also have it as a crossbody, and the strap here, this kind of long H, comes in the middle and it makes for a good shoulder strap. Probably haven't used it as much because it is kind of on the smaller side. And I have noticed because it is made out of canvas, the corners are starting to wear a bit. Hold on to it for now. And because I'm pretty sure I won't get a very good price on this from The RealReal. Another bag that I've hardly used, so I only used this once so far, is this is the old style Kabos in chocolate canvas. I got this one from Brandier, and it did come with its second pouch, and so that's about half the size, so you could get like an Elan tote versus a very large tote. But because I think the other owner, the previous owner of this bag, used it mostly as like a half bag, this canvas is actually pristine. Overall, I'm just not a huge fan. It is kind of heavy, so this top part here has a metal underneath. It's held by metal, and then there's leather on top. I mean, it's great that the canvas below is quite light. So overall, it's not terrible. The straps on these are quite worn, but it's kind of nice. It's softened and it's kind of comfortable. I mean, it's a good vintage bag. You know, of course, would fit your laptop and pretty much anything else. But I do find it to be a bit bulky, so I never reach for this bag. Another old style bag is this backpack. I forget the name of it, but it is an Hermes backpack from probably early 90s, late 80s. Comes with both a zipper and a snap. So the snap is interesting. It allows it to be more of a square shape here. It does come with a little one-sided handle, so that's also interesting. And then of course the backpack straps. This one is in the MM size. So I did also have this in brown canvas in the PM size, but unfortunately the PM size doesn't fit a laptop. So you would think, oh, this is a fairly big bag. Even the PM looked big on the outside, but because the zipper starts here, you're losing about this much of space. So this is just design. And then this is the actual capacity of the bag. So if you do want to fit a laptop, you have to go up to the MM size. It's pretty practical. There's a pocket here. It would fit your phone snugly, but it would fit. It's a well-made canvas bag. Even came with a little lock. I'm not really also a backpack type of person, but I guess in a pinch, if I needed a kind of nice looking backpack, a grown-up looking backpack, this would be it. So I am keeping it for now. I did get it for a really good price at Brandier, so I think it's probably worth keeping. And another vintage bag here is the Sacco bag from 1999 in the color blue jean, which is the old blue jean and Togo leather. If you had watched one of my earliest video posts, those bags that I'm selling, and this was actually on that list, but I haven't sold it yet. I keep it because every time I'm tempted by a bag in the blue jean color, I just say, well, I already have this one, so there's no need to buy it. I like the style of this bag. You know, it can be both a shoulder bag, or if you move the straps up here, it becomes a crossbody. It's very comfortable. The Togo leather is very durable. This little snap here is cute. There's no zipper up top, so that's sort of how it closes, is with this snap. I mean, also whenever I'm kind of tempted by the trim bag, I also think about this bag. Well, it's like, well, I have this hobo and I never use it, so you know, why am I going to buy a trim? I honestly haven't used it since that video. We'll see if it shows up in the next Hermes bag collection video, but it is still in here for now. Another blue bag that I have that is on the chopping block is this Victoria 35 in the color Blue Paradise. So I do like Blue Paradise a little bit more than Blue Jean. So Blue Jean, as you can see, has sort of more of like this greenish tint to it, while this blue is more of like a true blue. Definitely prefer Blue Paradise. Also never use this bag because it is kind of heavy. So it is kind of gaining in popularity, I think. I did see a What's in My Bag with Amy, the founder of TIBI, and she had a Victoria 35. I think hers was in blue jean. She got from like a vintage market in France. It definitely is sort of like a chic bag for like a practical woman. I think part of me wants to be that woman, but unfortunately I am not, because I can't carry this. It's, again, really heavy, and I do actually get annoyed with the 2-zipper system. So it's 2 zippers that meet in the middle, and there's this like lock here. Well, this still has its sticker on. It's kind of annoying. It just isn't practical. Very spacious bag. You know, it has 2 flap pockets here and a zipper pocket here. Inside is lined with canvas. It does make it a little less luxurious. But again, it's a bag I hardly ever use. So this is the Hermes Gao bag, G-A-O. It is a hobo from 2008. It's the Gao bag from Hermes in canvas and Byrrhenia leather. So I originally got this because I really wanted something in Byrrhenia. So I did get this at a fairly reasonable price because, as you can see, it is quite discolored and the Byrrhenia is quite worn. But I gotta say, I actually really like this bag. It makes for a pretty good summer bag. I did also have a Gao bag in in chocolate Togo leather, which was beautiful, but it was also a little bit heavy. I mean, the Togo just made the bag a lot heavier than the canvas, and I just found I never used it. So I did sell it over on my Instagram closet sale account. But this one, because it is canvas, it is a lot lighter. It is also canvas on the inside. There is a zip pocket on one side. I don't wear it very often. I also do try to baby the canvas because, you know, the more you use it, it is going to discolor. But the size, the shape, and the weight, it all works out for me. So now we're heading more into bags that I use fairly often. So if I need a big tote, I need to carry a lot of things, this is the bag that I go for. This is the Garden Party 36. And let me grab my other Garden Parties. So as you can see, I'm a huge fan of the Garden Party. So I would grab a Garden Party over a Birkin any day. It's less conspicuous, it's very lightweight, very durable, and you can pretty much carry it the same way, which is top handle. These two are vintage, and then I actually got this recently in Hawaii. You can catch my Hawaii hauls video where I picked this up at the Ala Moana store, which I feel very lucky to get. I started with the 36. For the most part, 36 tends to be the cheapest on the secondhand market. You also can fit a lot. And I actually decided to go with a vintage one that is made with canvas because it does make the bag a lot lighter in terms of weight. If you do get a 36 that's in all leather, it is going to be a lot heavier. And then if you put more stuff into it, including a laptop, you're just looking at a really heavy bag. Got this one first, and then I got this one second. And also, if you have a garden party, I do recommend storing it without the sides snapped in, just because I've seen quite a few on the secondhand market where either the snaps have kind of come off the leather or it starts really creasing the leather and you're going to get some cracking here. But this one is a special edition made of Swift leather. So a lot of garden parties are either made with canvas or Naganda or country leather, which are very like durable, thick leathers, which also does make the bag a little bit heavier. This one is a vintage one that they made a special run in, I think, just 3 colors. This color, which is sort of like Havan, basically. I mean, I think of it as Havana, a little bit lighter of a brown. So it's not quite chocolate, right? So if this is chocolate, this is a little bit reddish, right? They made this brown, a black, and a red. And inside, it's sort of like, it's called the Twilly edition. So inside, they have it lined with silk, but the bottom is leather. This one has their, what's it called? Their ribbon, their characteristic Hermes ribbon. I think it's just so beautiful. So yeah, this is the Garden Party 30, and this is from the year 2004. So almost just about turning vintage here. It is more delicate, but honestly, it is such a beautiful piece. And then the last garden party that I got is this new one from, I think, 2024, the Neo Garden 23. So as you can see, it is a lot smaller than the 30. It is super cute. It still fits quite a bit, so I can fit like a camera. I do also have a third-party strap with third-party clips so that I could turn this into a shoulder bag if I wanted to. Unfortunately, the shoulder strap that they had on Etsy this was the only green they had, and I have a hunch that this is Vert Almond. And then this is the newest, one of the newer greens from Hermes. This is Vert Mangrove, so it's a little bit darker. Doesn't quite match, but you know what? It's all right. And this is another brown bag. So as you can see, I definitely had a kick where I got a lot of brown bags. This is the Bely 35 in Epsom chocolate color. This is from the year 1999. I did originally want a Bely 31, which is one more size down, but I could not find one that worked out for me. So I'm still on the hunt, you know, maybe. But you can tell a vintage one because they all have this little like circular plaque here inside. It also does come, so the Bely 35 does come with shoulder straps and does have clips for it. And I can't really crossbody. It's really just a shoulder carry style. I will say though, the Bely 35 can carry a laptop, a 13-inch laptop, while a Bely 31 cannot. So I've used this a couple times for a laptop bag. I do think it makes for a good work bag. I like this in Epsom because it does make it a lot lighter than say Clemence or Togo. It does make it more of a structured bolide. So there's slouchy bolides, which are in the Togo and Clemence, which are, they look good too. That's like their own style. And then there's the structured bolides. Quick side by side, Bely 35, Garden Party 36, very similar in size. And then here is Birkin 35, Bely 35. So, even though they're both the 35 size, the bolide is a tad shorter, and just the form factor where it narrows up the top does make it seem like, to me, slightly more compact bag. And of course the bolide has the shoulder straps, which I like. So to me, that's more practical. But yes, here's the Garden Party 36 with the Birkin 35. I would say these two bags, quite comparable. I have this really stuffed right now, so that's why I look so big. Very similar bags, but this one I think probably weighs less than a pound, maybe a pound, and this is almost 3 pounds. Another vintage bag that I have, this is the Market GM tote, so another tote, even though it's definitely more of a bucket bag. I don't know what color blue this is, never specified, but it's from 1999 and the leather is Fjord. So Fjord leather tends to be very thick on the heavy side, but honestly, I actually don't find this bag all that heavy. I originally thought it might have been buffalo, but I don't know. This bag has been used quite a bit. It is, a little worse for wear, but I do love the bucket style. But honestly, I haven't used it a whole lot, but keeping this one in my collection. I really actually like this slouchy bucket style. So I gotta be honest, I'm not really going from least to most used anymore. I've somehow lost the plot and I'm just grabbing whatever is nearest. So I'm gonna just skip on ahead, and this is actually one of my more used bags. This is the Plume 32. I did do a whole Plume comparison review here, so check that out if you're interested, but I'm not going to just go a whole lot into it. But I do end up using this bag a lot because it does fit a 13-inch laptop right here, and the straps just barely go over my shoulder. It is a little bulky, but in a pinch I can carry it on my shoulder, which I appreciate. So there's this one, and also in that review I talk about my Plume 28 Elan. Both are supposed to be in the gold leather color. This is Epsom. This is supposed to be Togo. This one I got from Brandier, and then this one I got from the Rio. So yeah, go check out my Plume comparison review. But I love the Plume style, even more so than like the Victoria, even though it's a very similar sort of like rectangular tote style. I just find I like the structuredness of it, and it's not too heavy. It is practical and really easy to carry and still fits quite a bit. Now I'm just gonna go by color, I guess, because these are my two Rouge H bags. So this is the Rouge 23. This one is the Mini Halzon. I'm not exactly sure the size. They just call it mini, I think, but there is a 31, which is the bigger size. This one is in Swift. This one is in Rouge H in Sombrero, which is a specific type of leather that they don't use very often. You can see that the coloring is similar, but this one is a tad brighter. The Swift one here is a little darker. I do enjoy this because, you know, it's a good crossbody bag. Right now I have the straps tucked in, but make this into a crossbody bag, or you, like as I had the straps in, you could just turn this into a cute little hand carry. I would say the drawback is it doesn't quite fit a whole lot. When I use this bag, I do find that I have to change my wallet from my usual compact wallet into a Calvi, and the Calvi does fit back here. So a Calvi will fit in the back here, like so. So if you were to carry this bag this way, it does make it a little bit easier. It does not fit a phone though, so yeah. These two bags, I mean, this is forever staying in my collection. I bought this actually kind of early on, not in this current cycle of Hermes addiction. And the Hazan, I'm a little iffy. I very rarely use this bag. Like I said, it's a little small for my needs, but you know, once in a while if I do want a small Hermes bags, I don't have too many mini ones, so this kind of scratches that itch. So now we're getting sort of into my favorites territory. These two are the Lindy bags. This is a Lindy 30 and this is a Lindy 26. One black, one white, I guess. Got this Lindy 30 a while ago, so this was actually maybe my second ever Hermes bag after the Kelly from back in the day. I just saw this bag, I think on Instagram, social media, and I fell in love with this particular bag. Like I had to have it. I got this one off of Fashion File for about $3,000 at the time. But this was for the longest time the only Hermes bag that I had. I love that it's sort of like a if you know, you know type of bag, and then it can be shoulder carried. I will probably never get rid of this bag, honestly. I thought maybe if I got a 26, it would become like a substitute for this bag, but I did get this 26 in Swift. And so one thing about Swift is that the slouch is just, I don't know, it's not as cute. It's not as slouchy. Like it just has this like, it just sort of deforms over here on this side, and I'm not a fan. Versus the Clemence leather of this one is just so easy, very cute slouch, effortless, actually, an effortless slouch. But the Swift one, not so much. But you know, it is heavy, and the Swift is a lot lighter. I think if I carried it just like this, then it's not that big of a deal that the slouch isn't as cute. It's only when I try to carry it by the handles and then you start getting these like weird angles poking out. I don't know. Also, I'm not a fan of this one as much because of the Swift Nata colored leather. It is so light that there's already some dark marks. I did get this one secondhand from Fashion File as well, but this one I got this year. Inside it does have a cute pop of color though. I think this one is, it might be lime on the inside, which, you know, which is why I chose these twillies. I got these twillies in store to go with this bag. It's so cute, but it's so delicate. I used it once and then I got, it's still here too. It's like, you see a little bit of gray, dark gray there. I rubbed it up against the car, or maybe it was this side. I mean, basically every corner here has a little bit of gray, some that I did, some that the previous owner did. I'm not one to baby my bag, so I'm not a fan of this white bag and of the slouch. So as much as I like the Lindy, I don't think I'm going to keep this one. I will of course do a full Lindy comparison review before I sell this one off. But yes, this one is on the chopping block. We're almost done here. So getting to, again, my most used, or at least my favorites, are these two bags here. So this is the Evelyn 29. This is generation 1. So it does not have the back pocket, nor does it have an adjustable strap. But this is a third-party Etsy strap that I just put on here because I actually prefer my Evelyns to be shoulder bags. I think it's just, I don't know, cuter that way. I'm not a huge fan of that thick canvas crossbody strap coming across my body. And then I also find that, you know, it's pretty easy for me to get things in and out of my bag when it is a shoulder bag. So this one is from 2000, so just about vintage. It is in the Berlingo leather. So this is the classic leather. I had first gotten the Gao in this leather, and then I found this one and I just fell in love. As you can see, it does get a lot of scratches, you could get them buffed out, I think, if you take it to the Hermes spa, but for now I'm good. I don't mind it. It's sort of like a saddle bag, a saddle leather bag. You throw it around, it's kind of on the rugged side. It also can get wet and it doesn't stain the bag, which I've done a couple times. So in some ways it is durable, it is just not durable against scratching. So yeah, and I do have an organizer in here. And then this is the Vespa crossbody bags. This is in chocolate, or maybe it's in bean. It's in the buffalo leather. So yeah, I mean, this is the bag that kicked off my current obsession from the last like 2 to 3 years. So I got this one from eBay from a Japanese reseller. It did come with a little bit of mold, and so I rehabbed it myself. But the nice thing about buffalo is that it's super durable, also fairly waterproof. So I was able to, really scrub it with rubbing alcohol, leather cleaner, and then I conditioned it, and now it is, I think it's super gorgeous. This is from the year 1998. As you can see, the Vespa has this Shandong chain, which, I'm a huge fan of the Shandong. It is a little bit of a hassle when you're trying to get in and out if you're going to do this chain. Just to get it in and out is a little bit of a hassle, but for the most part, when I carry this, I just stick my hand in through the sides to grab what I need. So I don't have a organizer in here. This is what it looks like on the inside. There's actually a little cloth partition. It is unlined on the inside. So it does make the bag fairly light, except for the Shandong, of course, which is a pretty heavy hardware. It is super durable, though. It is really nice. They did make this Vespa in, I think, Togo and Epsom, from what I've seen, but I do really like this buffalo leather. I actually, after I got this bag, really wanted to get another bag in buffalo, but they're actually pretty hard to find. Of course, Hermes doesn't make it buffalo anymore, so all you're gonna get is in the vintage bags. I am a little bummed that the strap is not removable nor is adjustable. So for me, I'm 5'4". It actually hits fine. It's pretty comfortable. I'm very tempted to get more Vespas, but I have a Vespa and Evelyn. I really just need to restrain myself. And sort of my second to most favorite category is the handheld bucket bag. So as you can see, I have both the Picotin 20, is it 23? 22, 22, 18, Picotin 18, and then in the loop 22, 23? Sorry, I'll list it below, but I always get confused because this is like 22, 23. I did do a whole video doing comparison of these along with some dupes, so please check that out if you're interested. I got these two in store. I got this one from Hermes Boutique in Waikiki, and I got this one from the San Francisco Boutique. This was my actually first bag from the San Francisco Boutique. I asked for this bag because I am a huge fan of the Shandong motif, and then it has that beautiful hardware. But honestly, I don't really use it. As you can see, I have it stuffed right now because this Clemence leather is so soft that it'll start sagging here if I don't keep it stuffed. I kind of got this bag early on in my journey and didn't really know what I liked yet, but I do find that I just love the Picotin a lot more. It's just my kind of bag. I do also have third-party straps for these bags because I make them shoulder bags. Just to have the option to turn this into a shoulder bag makes it totally worth it. I also do have a strap for my cargo Picotin. And as I mentioned in that review, if given a choice, I do prefer my cargo Picotin over my 22. I just really like the canvas. It's very lightweight. I do like the pockets. So I can stick like my sunglasses in a pinch, or even my phone. And it's a cute way to accessorize. So this one is 100% a forever bag. And then this one, I honestly don't love. It is big. I also do have a third-party shoulder strap if I do want to wear it on my shoulder, but as I mentioned in that review, it's just a tad bulky when it's over the shoulder because I end up putting the straps on these handles and then it's kind of like bumping against your body that way. Also the fact that there's no feet and instead there's this very delicate swift on the bottom, it just makes it not a very useful bag. I think we're here, we're at the very end. All right, so if you watched my last couple of unboxings, my very first for the channel, you would have seen I unboxed this Toolbox 26 from 2010, Evercolor black with palladium hardware. And I did a second unboxing where I got this Toolbox 20 in Evercolor, and the color is glycine, which is like wisteria, but this is more like a mauve color. And I have to say this particular toolbox is my current favorite, like hands down. I've been using it almost every day since I got it. I love the toolbox because it's both a top handle and shoulder strap, and I like a thick canvas shoulder strap. I mean, not as a crossbody, but as a shoulder strap, it just makes it so much more comfortable. It is so easy to just sling this over my shoulder, clears my elbow, has that special Kelly lock, but that's super easy because you can do it in one hand. And as you can see, it does, this is my daughter's notebook here. Let me see. So I do have it stuffed, or currently it's in use. Inside is a beautiful Milo lambskin. It feels so luxurious. To me, this is just much more useful than a Birkin or a Kelly or a Constance. I got this for under $3,000, which I think is a fairly good price. Especially the 20 size does get more expensive because they're smaller and more in demand. Even though this was my first toolbox, unfortunately, I'm not using it as much as I thought I would because I got the 20. The 26 is a lot bigger. Of course, I'll be doing a full comparison review soon, but I think that's it. Those are my 30 Hermes bags. On my clock here, I've been talking for almost an hour and a half, so we'll see what this edits down to. If you've made it all the way through, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!